Good morning, everybody. It's Friday in the Test Gardens with Christy, and I am excited to be here because we've got a lot to cover, and most importantly, I'm very excited. It's the first time we're going to do this. We're going to do an unboxing of the January box because by now, most people have gotten their box, depending on where you live. I'm pretty sure most of the East Coast boxes have arrived by now. So you guys all have them, and hopefully you're opening them and planting them this weekend, or maybe you've already planted them. So we're going to go through that, and then also I'm going to go through some different I wanted to show you the progression of different plants, what things are doing, and then also I want to talk a little bit about winter kind of pests, things to be on the lookout for, because if you are in Northern California or kind of coastal, you know, it is humid. It's humid at night. We've had really warm days, but it's very humid at night. So you want to be on the lookout for certain things, and I'll walk through that as well. And then I also I've been getting some questions too about, you know, what to expect in terms of the boxes, how many plants, and, you know, in terms of how do these things fit into the wall. Over the holidays, we had a number of people that went ahead and kind of moved their containers into a planted wall because great way to hold them and all of that. So I want to make sure to show you about how that works as well. So first thing is, let's talk about some of the classes. Can you hear? You cannot hear. Okay, I might have to go over. Huh? Oh, okay, sorry. We're doing some technical things right now because I'm using a new microphone and we're making sure that it works. So if you guys can give me, Noreen, I see you online here. If you could give me like just kind of put a chat or send some wave if you actually can hear me talking. I'm assuming you can, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, so classes. Let's talk about that first. This week we did a smoothie challenge. And we've got, okay, great. I see your sign. So we're good. Okay. So the smoothie challenge going on this week. By the way, guys, it's 7 days. Even if you didn't get a chance to do it, don't worry. We have posted all of the videos in the Facebook community. We also are sending you emails. So today when you get your email, you'll have a video of every morning when I went live and I talked through the different ingredients and how I did it. And I just got real creative. We gave you the basics to get the flavor of what we were going for the theme, but then really what we're trying to train you is you want to be throwing in different herbs, different leafy greens to get that nutrient-dense food into that smoothie, as well as your plant protein powder with chocho. We wanted to kind of be giving you all these options so that you don't have to worry about like, oh gosh, I don't have yogurt, what do I do? Like you had different options that you could do each day to make sure you get a smoothie. So that was a good thing. And then also on Wednesday, we had a quick cooking class with Robin. It was just 30 minutes long. That is recorded. That's also up in the Facebook community and in your emails. And that was a great warming soup. And it was so helpful because what she did is she went through like, how do you take the basics and make it just a really clean smoothie? I'm sorry, not smoothie, soup. How do you make it a really clean soup, or how do you dress it up and make it more of a gourmet soup if you're entertaining, or maybe it's a Friday night, Saturday night, you want to make something kind of nice and special. So we went through that. I made it on Wednesday night with my family. It was delicious. Every single one of my boys ate it, which is shocking because if anybody knows me and knows my kids, they're only one of them really eats the leafy greens, so all of them ate it, which is wonderful. So okay, so that's what's going on there. But let's talk about the box. Let's walk through what it is you guys received this month. Here is the box, and I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And because it's winter, realize, as this is one thing that's so great about it, is we're really teaching you guys how to do this in the winter when growth is slow. I'm sure you're noticing it. Growth is slow. Why is it slow? It is slow because your days are shorter. You don't have as much sunlight. A lot of times you have cloud coverage going on, so you got reduced sunlight, so reduced photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is what the plant does to grow leaves, right? So that's shortened. And then also the temperatures. When it is colder, your roots are kind of, I like to say they're kind of hibernating. Like they just don't take up as much nutrients that are in the soil, so it just grows slower, and that's the biggest thing. So if you could find the warmest spot on your patio or your backyard that gets sun, you want to put your containers or your wall there, because where it can get the sun and it can get the heat, it's going to grow faster. That is why sometimes if you see some of our posts and some people have like, oh wow, look at her wall and it's full on, chances are she has found a great spot where she's getting a lot of the heat and a lot of the sun. So that's what's going on there. But let me go ahead and open this up real quick for you guys. So you've got 3 seedlings, organic seedlings this month. We've got a cilantro. We gave you a 4-inch cilantro because we wanted to give you a bigger one so that it can get started and get going faster. And we also have a video, as you guys know, in each shipment, you're gonna get a QR code, and it's going to take you to a special web page, and that web page is going to have all the details on the seedlings that you received that month, and it's going to give you information about it, maybe nutrient value. It's going to give you information about how do people use that, how do you grow it, that type of information. But for cilantro, we do have a special video in there for how you plant cilantro, because cilantro, as you can see, when you get it, there's just tons and tons of seedlings, right? And that's great because you just want it to keep pumping out growth for you. And you want to plant this deep, okay? You don't want to plant, like if you, hopefully I can show you here, but see where my finger is? You want to kind of go really kind of above the branch part of it, and you want to plant it deep. And the reason for that is you want to support, these are pretty flimsy leaves, and you kind of want to support the leaves more by planting it a little deeper, okay? So that's important with cilantro. And then we've got a Mezuna. Let me talk about Mezuna. I love Mezuna. Mezuna is a really, really good winter leafy green. And Mezuna, it's in the mustard family, so it's gonna have a little bit more spicy. This is what it looks like, okay? It's got a lot of nice roots going here. You wanna get this into your container, your wall, as fast as you can, because it's got a lot of roots. Those things need to start, you know, I almost would argue, like you can see, you've got some coming out here, which is good, but you want to get that into the soil so it can start spreading its roots. But here's what Mezuna is. Mezuna is a little on the spicy side. It's a winter green, and it grows fast in the winter if you're giving it plenty of sunlight, but it does like the cool season. And I wanted to show you, what, here's a purple one. They've got a lot of different kinds of Mezuna. But this is a purple one. I've actually been harvesting this a lot. But you see the leaves, this is how it grows out as it gets bigger, okay? And this one, I've got multiple seedlings in here. Let me count them. 1, 2, I got like 3. So you get lots of seedlings when it is shipped to you. And if you want them to get bigger, you should thin it out and pull out the thinner seedlings that are in there over time. You usually want to wait a week or 2, and then you can start pulling those out. But I did that with this one. I only have like 2 or 3 seedlings in there, and it's been growing a lot for me. And it's just delicious. I cannot say enough. It's great in a salad. It's great in stir fries and such. And then I wanted to show you this one. This is an example of one. This is a green one. This is the one that we gave you. We sent you a green Mezuna. So see this? I kept this all week when I saw it. This is what happens when a plant starts bolting. See how it's gone to flower? You don't want that to happen, okay? So I, on purpose, did not cut it back because I wanted you guys to see this. But when you see something that's starting to go to seed, you want to immediately cut it. Kind of, you want to go all the way down here, and you want to cut it at the very bottom where it's pulling there. And because what happens when a plant starts going to seed is it's kind of telling you, okay, I'm done. It's time for me to come out of the wall or the pot. And but some of them, arugula, Mezuna, some of these you can kind of keep in there longer by just continuing to cut back that growth, the flowering growth, okay? But the most important thing is you want to taste it. So if I taste this leaf right now and it tastes really bitter, like really bitter, that would tell me, okay, it's done, I need to take it out. But I did taste it and it doesn't taste that bitter, so I'm keeping it in. Also, I wanted to show you, see the difference between this one and this one, okay? You see how the leaves are way bigger in the purple one? It's not because it's purple. The reason why is the location. This pot is on a wall where it just doesn't get a lot of sun. And I kind of do that, it's test gardens, I kind of do it so I can see the difference of things. And so this one's just not getting as big. It's growing, it's fine, but it's almost like they're baby leaves. And that's just because it's not getting as much sun during the day as this purple one is, okay? So that's Mezuna. And then the last one is spinach. And do I have a spinach in here? I don't have spinach in my test pot, my test box. Maybe it's in there. Maybe I'll find it, but I don't see it in there right now. But spinach is spinach. Everybody knows what spinach looks like. And that's a good cool season, leafy green. Typically you grow those in fall and spring, early spring you can start doing it. Because we're in a more mild climate in Northern California, certainly Southern California, southern states, you can definitely be, you know, growing spinach in the winter for sure. And it's wonderful. I put them in smoothies all week long. I was putting them in my smoothies. I certainly put them in my warming soup as well. So when I'm done talking here, I'm going to walk down. I'll show you growing. I've got spinach growing in a wall, and I'll show you that. Okay. So then you've got 3 pots. These are our grow pots. And this time I wanted to show you it's a little different. This week we're giving you this month we're giving you ones with a handle. And what's really cool about that is if you actually have a location like a patio and you actually want to hang your pots, you can do that because we've got handles with these. So you have the option of doing that. If you don't want the handles and you don't want them to see, just simply cut them off. You can do that. That's very simple. But we wanted to give people the option. In fact, my son, who is in college, really wants to start growing food, and he is so excited because he has a patio where he's going to hang his pots. He's very excited. So I showed him about the handles. Okay, and then we've got, of course, our living soil. And what's important to know in here, we've got 3 bags of this because we've got 3 pots going out to you this month. And there's the fertilizer mix is inside the soil. We mix it in the soil. And that's important because the fertilizer mix, it's all organic. And what it is, it's a lot of marine-based, like fish bone meal, crab meal. There's a lot of marine-based nutrients because those are actually really, really good. They're good for the environment. Those are the right kinds of fertilizers to have. And those are in here. But the soil is what has the biochar and the alfalfa meal and the worm castings. It's all the stuff that makes it really rich organic soil, which is what you need. And I'm going to start talking a lot more about kind of understanding soil and the importance of soil and regenerating, really learning how to regenerate our soil. And that's really what we want to teach you to do here because this is important. This is a big, big issue. There is a number of documentaries that are coming out now that have been around, but Kiss the Earth is one, Learn to Grow is another one. I highly recommend seeing those. They are totally focused on understanding the importance of soil in our climate, in the global climate. There's literally, the United Nations has mentioned there's 60 years left of topsoil. So that's 60 harvests left. So we really, as a world, need to understand about soil and how to regenerate our soil. And there's a lot of great initiatives going on at a very large, big ag level that's doing this. And what I think is so awesome about what we're doing is we're doing it at a micro level. In your own backyard, you're learning about this. And I think that's very powerful because that educates you. And so then when you're going out to the farmer's market or to the store and buying your organic produce, you know, your carrots, whatever you're buying, you know, you can have those conversations with your farmers and start talking about it like a grassroots effort. It's really important. So this is why I'm so passionate about this. So really, really important. So don't ever throw this soil away. Biochar that's in here lasts for thousands of years. And so we will, right now, you know, this is all fresh soil for you, but then as we go through our year of farming and everything together, we're gonna teach you about composting and worm bins and how do you recharge that soil and get those nutrients back in. We are always sending you different organic fertilizers, and you know, heck, we are talking about it as a team. Do we give you guys worms? Like, give that an option for people because worms are that is like the tip of everything in terms of, you know, the worm is in there and he is eating the roots and the organic dead material, and literally his poop is creating the nutrients that the plants bring up. So really important. Okay. Sorry about that, but that is the truth. Okay, so I've got 3 bags in here, and then I've got some really important things inside the burlap bag for you. So what we've got here is we've got our metal stakes that you guys always get so you can label your plants, but then we also provided some mosquito bits this time around. And let me explain to you the importance of mosquito bits. Mosquito bits are, if you have a planted wall, you put those in your water every month, every 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, because what this does is it kills the mosquito larvae, which is really important in the summer, of course. Winter, you don't have to worry about mosquitoes as much, but it does kill the mosquito larvae that get into the water basin and fly around, so it's really important. But the other important thing that it does is it kills fungus gnat larvae as well in the soil. Okay, so if you've got the planted wall, it's in the water, and that water is going through your pots, and that's bringing the debris, the bacterium. This is organic, the bacterium that's on these pellets, it's bringing it through the soil, so it's killing that larva. If you have a planted box and you're using the containers, you're gonna mix this into your soil, okay? Just on the top of the soil, that's what you're gonna do. Now, why do you do that? You're gonna wanna do that if you see fungus gnats. Fungus gnats are like little white flies that kind of fly around the surface. And what is really can be challenging is people go, oh, I got rid of they're no longer, I don't see them anymore. And then a week or two later, they pop out again. And they're like, what happened? I got rid of them. And that's because they're laying their larvae in the soil. And then if you're not really kind of putting things like mosquito bits on your soil, they're hatching and they're coming back out again. So it's this like cycle that keeps happening. So the mosquito bits will prevent that. Now, you don't need to do it unless you see fungus gnats flying around, okay? So don't do it unless you see it. So I have not had problems yet, but I know that we've talked with people like someone else that's in our company that lives in a little bit closer to the coast. They're like, oh yeah, I'm having a little bit of issues because it's close to the coast, it's more humid. Fungus gnats fungus, right? They like damp environments. So only use it if you need it, but we wanted to be on top of it and make sure you had it. We also gave you your microgreen seeds this month, so you got 2 new. Every month we're going to give you 2 packets of microgreen seeds, and this month a variety of different ones. Some people got dark red kale, some people got dark red beets, some people got radish, some people got sunflower seeds, so a lot of different options. With the sunflower seeds, if you got those, that has a thicker husk on the seed, so you want to soak that one longer. I would soak that for maybe 2 days. The other ones, you don't really have to soak it that long at all, but the sunflower seeds, I'd soak it a little longer, just so that husk, gets a little bit more moist and breaks down, so easier to germinate and grow faster. I wanted to show you guys, I'm on my second batch of microgreens. I've got my radish ones, so these are growing in nicely. Important to look, we created a video this week because there's a lot of questions and confusion around, is this moss? What is this in my microgreens? And really, probably 8 times out of 10, if you're not overwatering, it's just root growth. It looks very fuzzy, and you don't want to confuse the root, kind of the feathers of the roots coming off of the stem. You don't want to confuse that with mold. And so I had that this week, so I took a great video because I wanted you to see it, because it's like, oh my God, this is a perfect example. And you can do a water test where you just kind of drip some water on top of where you see the white fuzz, and if it disappears right away, then you know it's the actual root growth. But if it doesn't, then it's probably mold. Now, mold's not gonna, usually it's isolated and you can kind of take it out of the issue where you have it and still eat the other microgreens. But the biggest reason why you're getting mold is because you're overwatering the soil. Realize that these felt pots we give you, they do retain the moisture a lot in the pots. We do that on purpose because you don't want things drying out, especially for your plants. But for the microgreens, you don't want to overwater. So literally, I water the soil when I first put those seeds down, put my paper towel on it, and then I barely water again. I'll either mist it or I'll get some water on my hand and I just kind of drip it if I see it being a little dry. I fill it, like right now it's plenty moist. But again, remember guys, it totally depends on where you live, the microclimate that those seeds are sitting in. If it's sitting inside and it's really dry and it's by a bright window, you might have to water it or mist it much more often, okay? So you just need to kind of be aware because, again, everybody's got a different situation. Okay, and so then I think that, oh gosh, hello, we also gave you a fun little brush for your fingers. So it's actually good when you're planting I like to use my hands because the soil, it's got so many great nutrients in it. Your skin's taking that up too, right? So I actually, when I can, I prefer to just use my hands instead of gloves. And so, did this to kind of make sure you're keeping your hands clean. So just kind of a fun thing to do there. Also, what you might want to do sometimes too with this, I'm just thinking about this right now, but depending on your water and if you have really hard water, you might get white kind of in the filt, you might get some white lines just from the water deposits, and you can use this to kind of clean off the pot as well. So that's just kind of something fun. And then we've got our our collateral. So we've got our QR code, which sends you to your customized website that's going to tell you everything about the product that you got, but also about the online classes that are going on that month. And then we also included, because we're talking about smoothies this month, Happy Food Chef Robin, she put together her basic fruit and veggie smoothie that really packs in the nutrients, the medicinal health, but also keeps that sugar content low, and it's a great balance, great smoothie. So that's in here as well. So that's here for you. Okay, so that is the box. And to just talk a little bit about the box and how to think about it. So as you guys know, we've been sending you kind of 3 to 4 seedlings a month, and that's because we're in the winter. As we start moving into the warmer, as things start warming up, we're going to start sending you about 6 seedlings each time. And that is because we want to get you as much as we can growing as possible, but we don't want to overwhelm you. And that's really an important thing I wanted to talk about with the planted box versus the planted wall, because I am getting questions from people on that. And how to think about it is planted box is really intended, but anybody can do it obviously, but it's really intended for the person who really wants to learn how to grow, is really interested because from a health reason, from a sustainability and the climate, learning about living soil, they're fundamentally interested in, I want to learn how to grow food, but I've never done it, or I don't really have a lot of space per se. I want to start out slow. I don't have a lot of time. Planted box is really good for that because we start you out slow and we give you more seedlings every month, and then we get to a point where I like to call it critical mass, where at that point then we just start replenishing what you're growing, okay? And at that point, that's a really good opportunity to move up to the planted wall. So by April, you're gonna be at about 17 pots, okay? And that could be a lot of pots, depending on your location and where you live and how you're displaying your pots, your containers and such. So the wall nicely fits. We kind of architected this such that the pots nicely fit into your the plastic pots that hang on the wall. So here is an example of a pot that hangs on the wall. It's got a little hook here, it hangs on the wall. And what you can see here is this fits very nicely into the wall, and then you hang it on the wall. So it's that way on purpose because we want to give people the flexibility, and that is what is so wonderful about it. So we really didn't expect people to be doing this until April, when springtime hit, but over the holidays we had a number of people that were like, okay, I want to start, I want to do this, I want to put my pots on the wall. So so that's super exciting, and I'm glad you guys are doing that. So let me know if you have any questions on that. And then I just wanted to show you kind of things that have been growing, what things are looking like. So let's start with the first month. First month you guys got bok choy, and you got bok choy, oh my goodness, sage, and I am spacing out arugula. And so it's hard because I also do the planted wall, so I'm always trying to balance all this stuff. Planted wall has just a lot of selections because they got a lot more pots they're growing in. But the bok choy, so I wanted to show you. So this bok choy, this is what I planted, and I have been harvesting a ton. And actually all week long I've been harvesting this one for smoothies and for the warming soup. So this one, the nice thing about bok choy, and one reason why I wanted to start out with bok choy is, for one, it's a winter green, but two, it lasts a long time in the pots. And so as long as you are not over harvesting it, it will stay and it will continue to produce for a long time. So it's a good one. It's a good one to kind of start out with, and it's pretty easy. The one thing though that you have to watch out for with bok choy is slugs. Slugs like bok choy. I've noticed that in the walls. They will ignore all of their plants, but they go after the bok choy. So you want to make sure that you're looking for signs of slugs. This one does not have any slugs, and I was hoping to find one that had slugs, but don't have anyone that has slugs. But how you'll know basically is you'll just see, something's eating your leaf. And sometimes it might be like in the middle of the leaf or the side of the leaf, but something is eating the leaf, and that's how you know. Now, they like to hide. If you have a planted wall, they like to hide. Where did that go? Let me pull this one out. They like to hide in the crevices. So what they'll do is in between the felt bag and the pot, they like to hide deep down in here. And that's where we found them. So you want to use something called Sluggo or Sluggo Plus. It is organic. And what we'll do is, I recommend putting the Sluggo pellets inside the pot, because when that slug goes to, sleep, hide, whatever they do, you can kill it. It will kill it. So So that, but again, and it is organic, but that's kind of what you do with the slugs. And they like to come out kind of at sunset. And so what you can do is you go out to your pots, to your wall, and just kind of look and see if you see any of them. You know, you can look for their tracks. It's usually like it looks like a snail track. It's kind of slimy, and you might see that on the outside of the pot. But that's how you know. But that's the thing to look out for with the bok choy. Arugula. Now this arugula, the reason why it's growing like this is, it's growing like this, is this, I have this in a wall. I actually have it in one of the pots in the wall. So you can see the growth goes up. You know, it's funny, the growth is a little different when it's in the wall versus if it's here, it's just gonna go straight up. That is why, like for this one, you can see, let me see here, here's another example. Here's another bok choy. You can kind of see how it's growing like up. You know, it's you know, and it's kind of like growing, you know, to the sunlight, and it's vertical, so it's just growing a little bit different shape. But this one is one, I've been harvesting this one quite a lot. So if I wasn't harvesting, I would have a lot more, but I love arugula, so I harvest it. But this is the one that, if you saw the live a few weeks ago, Mallory thinned it. And now, you know, we've got, you know, I've got 3, it looks like there's a 4th one I might take out, but I've only got 3 seedlings in here. Again, if I wanted these to be really big leaves, bigger leaves, I would take out more of the seedlings and just have 1 taproot in there, you know, taking up all that soil. But there's a lot of soil in these pots that we give you, so you should be fine. But that's the arugula. We've got, I wanted to show you my sage, because one thing I think that is important to know, that these things are living, and don't be hard on yourself if like something goes wrong, because it happens. They're living. There's so many variables that we're dealing with. So here's my sage, and this is my sage. I put it actually in the wall. It's not happy. It's just not happy, right? Part of it is it's winter, and sage really likes the warmth. So it's not gonna die, but it's kind of gonna sit there. But this one, I have another one in the wall down below that is like 4 times the size of this one. So this one is just, it's overwatered. The soil's too damp, so the roots are not happy. So it's kind of stunted, it's not going there. And it's just, it's you know, doesn't look very happy. So I basically took this one off the wall, and I have it in the sun. I'm just trying to kind of dry it out. But again, this is just to let you know, like, it happens. And you know, it's like, this is why we grow a lot of different things, because sometimes that's going to happen, and then we replace it. Okay. The other thing, okay, so then in December we got lemon balm. My lemon balm is nice and happy. I've got it right here. So that's just sitting there nice and happy. I use that in the warming soup this week. I put that as a garnish on there. The Viola, he's not doing a lot of growth right now. I just know that Viola's, because we did him last year, you know, in the winter, they're a cool season and they're flower, but you know, I'm gonna give this a couple weeks and it's gonna start flowering a lot. You know, they just kind of take their time. I'm filling the pot right now. It's pretty wet. It's probably a little overwatered, so this thing probably needs to dry out a little bit. Please, in the winter, don't water as much. You don't need to water as much. You know, for one, the soil's not drying out, but also the roots just aren't taking up as much nutrients, and you do not want to suffocate. You don't want to suffocate the plant. And what I mean by that is when the water is too wet, what's happening is you don't have a lot of airflow in that soil, and so you're kind of drowning the roots. So not only are they not taking up nutrients, they're also they're not able to breathe, if that makes sense. So, so that's important. So do not overwater. I mean, I literally right now, maybe once a week, I am watering, and with my walls. Okay. All right. So we did that, and then we have a mint. Here's my mint. My mint is nice and happy and green. And mints, you know, mint, like kind of most herbs, it doesn't like to be watered a lot. So it kind of wants to dry out and then get wet. And you know, the sage is like that too. Oregano, a lot of the herbs are like that. Cilantro, which is what you got this week. Cilantro actually doesn't want to dry out a lot. I mean, it's kind of acts more like lettuce, I've noticed when we grow it. And this is cilantro that's been growing in for a while. I've been harvesting and such. So you'll see as it grows. Again, this is in the wall, so it's growing up, but this is what you guys got this month. So you can look forward to yummy, yummy cilantro. Okay, and I think, oh, and then I did want to show you, so let me see here. We did lemon balm, mint. Yes, okay. I did want to show you because Swiss Chard's coming next month, I believe. And this is amazing. I hope you can see that because it's kind of, the sun's right above me now, so it's lighting's not so good. But this is a nice, bright, perfectly healthy Swiss Chard. And I wanted to show you that because it looks almost like it's plastic. And that really is a sign of very, very healthy soil and a very healthy plant. When it is so shiny and vibrant like that, that is actually the nutrition in the foods. That's nutrient-dense food. So if you've ever noticed when you buy produce at the grocery store and then it kind of gets limp or maybe it kind of loses some of its color, that's basically the nutrients kind of coming out of it. So you want to make sure, this is one reason why we do this. We're getting nutrient dense food that's super healthy, super fresh, super good for you and good for the planet. So I think I'm going to stop now because the sun is now overhead and the lighting has gone. So thank you so much, guys. Please post your questions, anything that you have. Keep the pictures coming, and I love what I'm doing, and I hope it's spreading to you guys as well. This is just a great thing to do for yourself, for your health, and for the world. Okay, bye-bye.